Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to some more Osu Mania 4-Key World Cup 2023 action. We're back in some more quarterfinals. We have a losers bracket match. We've got France versus Malaysia, and I will be one of your commentators, Toph Daddy, joined here by Juan Crystal. How's it going?
Hello there. Being there before France-Malaysia seems like a matchup I've seen many times already in this World Cup. Maybe I'm wrong, actually, but I mean, these are just two teams I'm just very familiar with. You always see Malaysia, you always see France. You don't always see both of them on the losers bracket quarterfinals, though. That's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, recently it's been pretty uncommon for Malaysia to get knocked into the losers bracket before, that semifinals, finals kind of area, especially, they were a big powerhouse with Leon and Chiwi leading the charge. And, without Chiwi, they've kind of taken a bit of a hit. So seeing them in losers bracket maybe, was a result of the changes in their team. But I'm still expecting this match to be quite good. Two pretty strong teams here in the quarterfinals fighting for their lives, and I don't know what to expect.
I mean, I don't know what to expect either. This is one of those matches you can call like coin flips in some regards, because Malaysia has historically been a very strong, like, anti-meta team, if you will, and France has always been a pretty consistent accuracy team. The tables have turned a little bit, I think, across the years, and nowadays I'll say they are both very all-rounder teams. So this is kind of this typical match that is going to be very close, but the scoreline could just lie to you. This could be a 6-1 fairly easily, and all the maps being decided by less than 5,000 points.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be an interesting kind of thing to watch for just in general as far as like how picks and protects and bans go. Because like you said, both teams are quite well-rounded in general. So coming up with a strategy that will cater to your strengths and maybe go against your opponent's weaknesses is a lot more difficult than it would be in an average match.
For sure, and as you can already tell, there are some protects here going on. Long Note 2 from Malaysia, Heaven's Fall, and Sample Ensemble from France. This is exactly the same protects we had on the previous match here on stream between Russian Federation and China, and both teams were on the same color with their own protects, and they are banning SV2 after protecting SV1?
That's
okay, France?
Actually, I fully understand what's going on here. Because a few years ago, when I was still playing for the United States, we had a match against France, and something that France liked to do with SVs is hard practice one of the SVs, and then not practice the other and ban it, so that they didn't have to focus on two different SV picks throughout the week. And I think that's exactly what we just saw happen here.
Could very well be the case. If you have to pick one, I would always pick SV1 with this map pool, because SV2 seems like the kind of map you take less time to understand and realize how it works. It's also a more popular song, in my opinion. So maybe going for SV1 as your practice point gives you a better chance of winning against other teams who are not as prepared. Whereas on SV2, score gaps are always going to be naturally closer due to the map being, I mean, in general, easier to play for most people. And now with Malaysia's ban, Rise 2, I mean, they don't want to have any accuracy battles, right?
Well, to be completely honest, I don't know if Rise 2 being banned is an accuracy battle type of thing. We've seen quite a few bans on this map this week, and this is the fourth time Rise 2 has been banned, which is insane compared to previous years. Usually the jump stream is like the first thing people go for, but I think there's how the map pools are being like created this year is almost incentivizing people to start banning that jump stream and stamina pick because of the density and awkward patterns that exist throughout it. So I think that it genuinely is just physically difficult for a lot of teams.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing we got from the qualifiers too, right? Stage 7 being this kind of physically demanding jump stream map, but with odd patterning for the most part. If that's getting replicated across the stages as you would expect, and it's shifting a little bit, the kind of meta we're used to in the Rise department, right? Where the tunnel vision accuracy big is just a ratio battle, and this time it's even considered as a ban due to the physicality required instead of maybe the choke potential you will have on it.
Yeah, and I ultimately think that's going to make for better matches in general. But the first pick does come out, the Protect for Malaysia coming out as the first pick in this match. Heaven's Fall, looking to maybe try to keep this match on the rails, get themselves a point early. And I mean, they have to be pretty comfortable on this. And I think this is maybe in their own heads, they're just thinking, let's go with the thing that we're the most comfortable with and try to get that point on the board and get the momentum in our favor early.
Yeah, I like that mentality a lot. Although this map, we have seen so many good results from many teams. Like a three-way FC on this is actually very common, really. Most teams are performing extremely well on LN density lately, and this map doesn't really have anything that can catch you off guard other than the transitions, really, and some of the bursts at the end. So I would expect... I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is a six-way FC by the two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, France, historically strong LN team. You have some really good long note players there with Quentin, Narahashi, and Aura. And then Malaysia, kind of the same thing. A historically good long note team, though with some new comers coming in to take the lead. Early on, the accuracy lead is in favor of Malaysia, though we haven't gotten into any of the more difficult long note patterns. So everyone able to get up that 400 combo mark without any issues. Just waiting for that density to start kicking in.
There's the first miss actually by Einar here on Malaysia's side just before we start into the LN density section. Another good start from the Malaysian on their own Protect even. And in a map this simple, I mean, I don't want to call it simple, but a map that you expect so many FCs coming out of it, starting with that, it's not going to help at all. Like, it's going to be very difficult to recover from a miss like this.
Yeah, I think if you have the confidence to protect a pick like this and first pick it in the same match, I think you would expect the team to be full comboing it, like three-way full comboing it. That said, despite the miss, the accuracy seems to be favoring Malaysia right now, and that 2,000 point lead has shrunk down to 1,000. So I could absolutely see this flipping as long as Malaysia is able to hold on to that consistency.
I mean, we're only halfway through into the first break of the song already, and the gap is so small, and even with the singular miss, like Jay Lee here really pushing their accuracy as high as they possibly can, and they are putting Malaysia on the lead because there's a break right before we start into the second streamy section by Narahashi on the French side.
Yeah, we got two full combos to two. We actually see an interesting dichotomy here with the full combos there. Jay Lee actually at the same exact accuracy as Aura, leading both teams. And then Tose just above Quentin. Ooh. But Einar with another drop there is going to give the lead over to France. But this
is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, we've got a quarter of the map left, and it's 2,000 points. It looks like France might be able to fend it off as long as they hold
Aura's dropping a lot of accuracy.
That is true. We are only seeing 1,300 points as Einar is back above the 400 combo mark. Oh my goodness, that lead is getting so tiny.
The very last one, Jamie drops.
That's another miss, and it extends the lead for France as we get into the final patterns. It looks like France might just take this. They just have to hold combo now with two full combos from Quentin and Aura right now going into the last few patterns. And Einar dropping once again, and that's going to be a break point right out the gate for France, just off of those misses from the Malaysian side.
My goodness, the tension there, you could feel it. It was there for Malaysia. They were coming back, even despite the whole misses they had. And at the end of the day, Jay Lee and Einar collapsing, proving to be the undoing. And France starts ideally. Like, I don't think there's any other way. If you could dream a way to start a match, breakpoint against your opponent's Protect.
Yeah, that absolutely gives... I think France has about as good of momentum as you possibly can after that first pick. Just getting a good performance, two full combos from Aura and Quentin, locking down that first point, and they can go into whatever they want. I'd almost expect them to go SV1 here. If I was in France's position and I just took my opponent's breakpoint and wanted to keep that momentum and put the pressure on a lot, I'd go for my own Protect.
That's fair. Although I'm not sure. I would just save my SVs, right? Because you just got the most difficult point out of your opponents. This is the kind of space that you have that you can just pick something, maybe your second, third best pick to test the waters, maybe on the rice department, maybe a hybrid even.
I could see anything. I could see anything coming out at this point, but yeah, I think it's just about what France wants to do.
I like Edison.
Edison would be an interesting pick, but Rice 6 comes out Nisei Mono, going for the technical choice, just trying to flex that physical capability. We did see the Rice 2 ban come out from Malaysia at the beginning of this match, so going for something as maybe the next most physically difficult map in the pool. I think this is a fair pick.
That's true, and also they have to keep the trend, right? This is the exact same pick order as we saw in the previous match too. They went from Heaven's Fall, which was the Protect by Russia, into Nisei Mono, which was picked by China, and now they're repeating the exact same thing. I'm wondering though if we will see the same scenario, because China choked a lot on this, and I will argue China's one of the most physically capable teams on the losers bracket right now, so I can only assume France has to be very confident if they're picking this, or they are expecting Malaysia to just not have the physicality to keep up with this.
Yeah, I mean, this map is just plain difficult. There are so many varieties of patterns. It starts off with like your expected kind of tech map with a lot of heavy mini jack patterns, and then it goes into some fast jump stream, and then goes into some slower but denser jacks towards the end, and there's a bunch of bursts. Everything about this is so difficult, and I think it either has to be what you said, with France feeling very comfortable with this kind of physicality, or expecting Malaysia to tank a little bit.
I don't think we see any roster changes on Malaysia.
Yes, that is true. Tosei and Einar and Jay Lee being the three for Malaysia there. Mr. FR coming in for Aura on France's side. That makes sense in my own head. Aura, strong LN player, but has had some historical issues with tech. So having that swap out is very good. But Narahashi not having the best start on this map. Those bursts not treating them well, but Einar trades that right back, and France is able to take the early lead.
See another hitting again from Tosei, obviously kind of the choice for the playstyle, so not that big of a surprise in that regard. But we'll have to see here if the misses. Exactly, that's the problem with this kind of maps. You can have two players completely destroying the chart, like for instance Mysteor and Quentin are doing on the French side, but that can easily be tanked by a single third player who's not able to keep up with the patterning, and that is what's happening with Einar on the Malaysian side. The accuracy from Jaylee is insane, and Tosei is trying their best to keep up with Quentin, and unfortunately they're gonna find a miss here. And despite the trace, the accuracy is just on the France side.
Yeah, that accuracy for France, 2 players above 99.6. There's only Jaylee on the side of Malaysia, matching up with that, on top of the fact that it is just one full combo to one, and those misses seem to be tanking Malaysia's accuracy much more than it is on France's side. So the physicality definitely seems to be favoring France in general, just by looking at the first half of this map. And I'd maybe expect France to stick with this kind of this kind of pick strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in that regard. This pick not only is looking to be a pick that France wins, but it gives them so much information, really. They can go for something like maybe Rice 1 on the future. They can potentially go for, well, they still have SV1 if they really want to, if they need a get out of jail free card, I guess.
Right, they have a lot of options in this scenario. Mr. FR does break that full combo, so only one full combo left in the lobby here from Jay Lee, but one full combo for Malaysia doesn't look like it's going to be enough, as Einar continues to find drops in this ending, mashed by Tosei as well.
Rude. This ending's just rude.
It is. It's 315 BPM streams is already really fast, and these patterns are not very nice.
They're everything but nice. They are so rough. There are so many hidden mini jacks. There's the patterning structure with a lot of back and forth stairs. I mean, it's understandable to see this many misses by the Malaysian side. And honestly, this core by Jay Lee is insane.
Yeah, one full combo there from Jay Lee. Not enough to bring his team up to the point, but very impressive nonetheless. Also, that accuracy, 3/200s, and the ratio, best ratio in the lobby by quite a bit. Mr. FR matching the 200 count, just doing a little bit better, but the full combo with that accuracy, just absolutely nuts.
Certainly is. But now back to Malaysia's pick, 2-0 in favor of the French. And I mean, you tried your protect and it misses. What do you do now, right? Like this, you need to recover your morale somehow. I'm not sure if LN1 is the best pick here or Hybrid 2. Yeah, I was about to say.
I do think your mind. This pick is an interesting one. I think it's a good pick for Malaysia to try and just kind of test the waters in the hybrid pool, especially since there's so much LN requirement. I almost chalk this up as like a coordination pick of sorts because of the jacky nature of it. It's very similar to LN1, just with a much higher physical requirement and slightly less dense long notes.
Yep, and that's why I'm so interested on this, because this is the kind of pick, if you're an LN team, that you want to transition out of LN to something else, this is the kind of pick you make. But considering the structure and not just the coordination requirement, but the fact that the mini-jacks are the coordination factor, not necessarily the rest, and seeing how much Malaysia struggles with the physicality, we'll have to see. That this is still not extremely fast to a point that I will expect Malaysia to just miss most of it. But we'll have to see. Like, France has proven they are the most capable teams in terms of physicality, and they have the long note potential for sure. They won LN2 fairly convincingly. So this is a pick that makes sense, but we'll see. It may as well just be another LN2 and France just take that, as we have seen that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit more competitive in my own head, just because I think LN2 is so straightforward. I think it just gives France an easier in to kind of take that point. It's that kind of thing that kind of confuses me personally when I see so many people protecting something like Long Note 2, because the density is going to be comfortable for, I think, a lot of teams. And I think if you want to start attacking teams by, you know, taking advantage of an LN weakness, I think something like LN1 or LN3 is going to be a better bet. And since this has that kind of similarity to the timing hell structure with the jacks and the coordination required, I think this is a much better kind of in to that kind of attack.
Yeah, like it is something that if you have a team that is capable of, it's much easier to attack with, because not many teams have 3 players who are capable of hitting this kind of structured maps, as you were saying. But we'll see. I mean, now is the time to prove yourself, I guess. If you're Malaysian, I mean, it's the same if you're French, right? But we'll see. As the map just starts, we are testing the waters and see which team can triumph in terms of hybrids.
Absolutely. We're getting into some of the more difficult patterns. Everyone gets past the first 400 combo without any hiccups. We did actually see a swap out on France. Aura comes in for Narahashi there, who had some issues right at the start of Nisimono, so that could be contributing to the swap out there. But Tosei finds a drop in that really fast transition stream. It's going to give quite a nice lead to France for now, as Einar also drops a little bit down in accuracy compared to the rest of the lobby, but we are hitting some very difficult patterns here, and Einar finds a combo drop to match Tosei. So it's now 3 full combos on the side of France to just 1 for Malaysia from Jay Lee.
And this is the kind of thing I was talking about. This is the kind of map where I expect Malaysia may struggle in the terms of physicality, and they are surely struggling in that regard. Tosei and Einar dropping like flies, unfortunately, on this map. The LNs are there, but unfortunately the rise is proving to be a bit too difficult, I believe. Mostly the pattern structure, they are just not equipped for it, I believe.
Yeah, we get out of the hardest of the long note patterns there and get into this jack structure. We see another miss from France, so it's just 1 full combo on each side. It's going to help cut into the lead a little bit, but it might be too little too late, especially with that trade back from Tosei there. We're at a 30,000 point lead for France as we get into the final few patterns, and it's looking like France might just be able to take a second break point here.
It's looking like 30,000 points is not something you can recover with this little amount of time, and it's just a matter of we will see 2 FCs, 1 from each, and at the end of the day, it would seem like it's the case. France, once again, on top, 3-0, second breakpoint in a row, and I mean, despite all these efforts by Jaylee, he's always being the MVP of pretty much every single map, and it's not enough. Unfortunately, the French team as a unit is proving to be more effective.
Yeah, that consistency in the accuracy. We see the 200 counts very well uniform across the French team. Jaylee beating, like you said, all 3 of them, but with Tosei and Einar falling behind with the misses and the 200 counts, it's just not going to be enough. And France is looking good, 3-0, going to go on to their own pick again to hopefully bring this to a 4-0 on their side. But Malaysia's gotta find something, gotta find some way in. To get some points here, especially now that they've lost 2 breakpoints. They're going to need to win 2 more breakpoints in order to even flirt with a tiebreaker in this match.
It's going to be very tricky for them now that France has the initiative again. And I think it mostly comes down to how France decides to pick next here, because anything seems to work. Like, they won on literally every category by now. And I mean, they really need to avoid, I think, LN1, and everything else probably fine for France to go for now, I believe. Even LN1 is probably worth going for if you're confident on it. But I'm seeing maybe, like, I wouldn't go for Vakamitai either. I think that's a pick that is short enough that you could choke your way out of it. So maybe something more physical, like I cannot pronounce that name. Gypsophila?
I thought it was gypsophilia for a while, but there's no I at the end there.
No, there's no I know, right? Actually, also, yeah, they're going for Rice 1. Let's go. I wanted to point out, Italy's actually beating the UK on the other stream, by the way. That's insane.
They are indeed. They just got a break point away from the United Kingdom on long note 2. So Italy looking good for that match right now, but there's still lots of stuff to go through. But in this match here, we've got Rice 1, Gypsophila, something like that. It's the stream pick. We're good. It's very physical. I think this is a fine pick for France. We did see Malaysia have some pretty major issues on that ending stream in Nisemono, and I could absolutely see that coming to bite the team on a map like this.
It is surely going to bite them back, I believe. This is I mean, I don't want to call it a victory already for France on this map, but this is like 90-10, I think. Like, France has a clear advantage in a map that is so physically demanding after what we saw on Nisemono. So Malaysia really has to play out of their minds here if they want to take this point. But if they do, I mean, this will be the ideal point of the match to recover that morale back.
Absolutely. And like you said, with something like Bakamitai, I think this map is definitely a better choice than that just because of the length. And it's not as prone to just like singular misses causing some issues for you.
So far, so good, actually, for both teams. There's no misses on the intro stream, but Tosai being the first to drop, Rasa said this. And into the combo cap we go now, 10,000 points of advantage for France.
We do see 2 misses there, a trade between Aura and Einar, but that is going to favor the French side, especially with the accuracy that Einar dropped with that miss. Down below 99 for a little bit, but building it back up. Something else important to note about this map is that it's not just streams. Like, that's the main difficulty, but there are some technical patterns in between the streams that can make it really difficult to transition in and out of them.
And into the second batch of streams, here we go. There's still 2 FCs on the French side, 1 FC on Malaysia. And again, despite Jaylee's having the highest accuracy here, Quentin is certainly challenging for that title in this particular map. It's not going to be enough. France, again, just very, very solid across the board here. Yes,
Yeah.
sure, we had a miss from Aura, but his accuracy is the best of the team. So imagine how good the ratio is.
Yeah, this French team is just so consistent with each other. We've seen teams like that in the past whose success is built not necessarily on their physical ability to like be better than other teams, but just that consistency really building them up. And France is definitely one of those teams that we're seeing just really solid accuracies and really consistent accuracies, and that's helping them get that 4th point against Malaysia.
Oh my God, Aura! No.
Oh, that's so tragic. A V1SS outside of those 2 misses, extremely clean misses. It's impressive that they didn't cause any issues, but maybe that was just like a keyboard issue or something.
Wow. I mean, scores from France again are just insanely good. Like, wow. I thought that France was starting to hit, like, not necessarily starting to hit, but I thought quarterfinals was like around the level where France starts hitting their physical limits. But their new additions surely have been proving me wrong here. Like, France is doing so well.
Yeah, they absolutely are, but that is France's pick. We're going to be moving into Malaysia's next pick, and given how Hybrid 2 went, I imagine they're going to start going back into the long notes. I would think LN1 comes out here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Like, sure, they could go for Erin Nice, but yeah, it's just Astra walkthrough.
Yeah, this one's definitely the least physically demanding of the long note picks, and I think it's going to help. It's going to benefit Malaysia to not have to deal with those difficult rice patterns that we saw in Hybrid 2.
Good song, by the way.
This is classic Chris Erline song.
Yep. This is like clear boss music, like so good.
It reminds the style of like the rhythm and stuff reminds me of Level X, that one old Chris Erline map.
Yep. So true.
Or is it level 6?
No, it's level 6, I think.
It's something like that.
I mean, this is like you said, the kind of song you listen to and you're like, I mean, Chris Erline should probably make a map of this if it doesn't exist already.
it just fits their style, and with like the jack-based long notes and the really coordination-heavy kind of timing hell-esque patterns. I think it's just like you get that jack inverse, and that's exactly what to expect out of a map like this.
But about the teams now, it doesn't seem like we see any swaps from the usual long note lineups here, which is understandable. I mean, this is the kind of map you could bring a specialist if you have one. Like, I could see some players being very capable of doing LN1 and maybe LN2, but not capable of doing LN3 all that comfortably, or Hybrid 2 for the matter, considering the hybrid nature, like the physicality required. So players like Aura, for instance, are the kind of players I think of when we get into the physical part of things. You may want to save Aura for the picks like this, where it's more about coordination and technique and finesse rather than the physicality.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've been seeing that kind of throughout this match. Aura's switching out for a good number of one of the rice picks earlier because of the physical requirement, and now back in for this LN pick. Narahashi with an early break. It was before 400 combo, but Einar drops as well, trades that back, and gets a second one there. So France is going to take an early lead, and Einar not having a very good time holding on to the combo in this early section.
Very weird behavior here by Einar, like completely crushing this portion of the map, which is arguably like so much harder than the intro. I mean, I guess it's a matter of focus or nerves that's getting on the way. There's another miss now. Not good for Malaysia.
There's still 2 full combos on each side, so it's not too big. Oh.
Whoops. Oh my, everyone just
collapsed. What just happened? Okay, there's 1 full combo left now. Quentin, the only full combo on the board. Narahashi finds another break.
What is happening?
Everyone's missing in the break. I've never seen something like this.
Marahashi's just struggling hard now. I don't know what's going on.
This lead is not that big right now. We're only halfway through the map, and we have a 12,000 point lead. Given the breaks we've seen, I would have expected it to be closer to that 30-40k that we've been seeing on most of the other maps. But this is very close, and a few more misses from France could definitely bring Malaysia back in contention for this pick.
You know what's very sad? This is like the one time had Jaylee hold their accuracy as they've been on the previous maps, Malaysia will probably be on the lead or very close to it. And the one time he misses is the one map that is this close. And unfortunately, Einar and Tosai are dropping too much now. And France seems to have been stabilized a little bit, Aura at the very least.
Yeah, and Quentin maintaining that full combo, definitely helping the team keep it up. And Jaylee finds another combo break for Malaysia here, and it's looking harder and harder for them to come back in this map, despite how close it was for a majority of it. Looks like France might just take up an Narahashi with a break right at the end. And it looks like Einar and Narahashi just trading back and forth in this ending. Oh, that was a huge drop!
It really was. There's not enough time, though.
That lead just went from 24,000 to 12,000. What just happened?
I kind of want to explain to the viewers what happened on this map, but honestly, I don't think I know.
That was wild.
That's exactly not how I expected LN1 to go at all.
Yeah, I think Narahashi might have just had a little bit of a brain fart there at the end, dropped a few, and dropped down to that 98.5. There wasn't enough score on the side of Malaysia to bring that back quite enough. The accuracies across the board quite similar, though. You see Aura and Tosei with similar 200 counts, and then Quentin and Jay Lee had similar 200 counts, and then Narahashi and Einar was similar. It was just a matter of combo.
Well, I mean, match point for France now, I guess. 5-0 after certainly what was not the way we expect. I mean, maybe we expected France as a potential winner for LN1. It was probably a 50-50, I would say, like a map that was fairly close. But that was not the way I expected it to go. Like, so many misses across the board. It actually seems weird. Like, France has been destroying the pool. Every map they play, they had an amazing score. And then Long White just completely destroys everybody. And I went to break the silence, so more on the techie side again.
Yeah, we're coming back to that technical pick. I don't know if this is a pick I think is like as strong as the first two. It's kind of hard to say because I think the remaining 3 Rice picks are all a little bit more of toss-ups. They're definitely not. They don't have that physicality requirement that that Rice 1 and Rice 6 have. At least not quite as heavily. And then this one is more of a consistency-based map, so it makes sense why France might want to go for this instead of one of the other two, which are both a lot shorter and more prone to singular mistakes, giving away the lead.
Yep, exactly. And in general, like, France has just been looking sharp, despite the consistency that they maybe drop 1 or 2 times. The ratios on 200 counts are just too good. And in a map this long, it just kind of waits itself out, right? Because, sure, Malaysia may not miss, potentially, because the map is a bit easier, but you're still going to out-accuracy them for the most part. And that might be enough, even if you miss once or twice.
Yeah, we've seen that come to fruition quite a bit here in this match. France not necessarily able to combo as well as maybe they'd hope on some of these Rice picks, but that accuracy is certainly saving them from having to worry about losing these points. And we see, I think, similar teams from what we see. Malaysia having the main 3 come up. We've got Mr. FR coming in for Narahashi on this pick. Aura staying in for Rice. And this map just gets going right away.
Yep, it doesn't waste any time. It just goes straight into the meat.
Yeah, the patterns overall in this are a lot simpler than the previous Rice maps, or previous tech map that we saw in Nisei Mono's. A lot more variety in terms of the types of patterns you see, but this one definitely has a lot more rhythm variation, where we already see a trade between Aura and Einar. It looks like Jay Lee follows that up with another miss of their own. So 2 full combos to 1 early on in this section.
The thing with this song as well. This is a very popular song. Most people knows it, and it follows the structure of the song fairly tightly. So if you know the song pretty well, this is a kind of map that is just about physicality, really, because it won't surprise you at any point. The map is exactly what you would expect. It has some odd triple mini jacks, but if you can get past those, then most of the map is like fairly straightforward.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is definitely a comfort zone type of tech pick for most players. We did see Tosei drop the last of the full combos for Malaysia, so there are none for Malaysia here halfway through the map. 2 full combos on the side of France from Mr. FR and Quentin. Aura finding some combo troubles, but able to keep that accuracy at a place to compete with Einar and Tosei and help keep France pretty safely in the lead with a 22,000 point difference in favor of them right now.
And you know what's the funniest part about this matchup? It's looking like France will take this and therefore the match. We have not seen SVs, and the SV got protected and banned, so that's going to be interesting for the next opponent, which is, I believe, China, who did the exact same. They both protected SV1, and SV2 got banned on the match.
And then they didn't pick it.
Yep.
Hiding that information, I think hiding that information is particularly important for a map like SV1, where it's not necessarily set in stone how well you're going to perform on it. We're seeing a few more misses here. Einar dropping, everyone else staying very consistent through this section.
Yeah, this is the kind of maps, like we said, you expect high accuracies and singular misses, like low to 100 counts and misses. And that seems to be the case for pretty much every player in this lobby here. Mr. FR and Quentin are both full comboing, but Aura and Jaylee both have incredibly good accuracies despite their misses. And honestly, so is Tosei, who has dropped quite a few times already, but his accuracy is still very, very high.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming into the final few patterns, and there's a little bit of a rehash of the intro with some more straightforward patterns, some really fast mini jacks, but it looks like this is going to be pretty much set in stone here. France taking this, bringing the brooms out, sweeping Malaysia in their first losers bracket match of quarterfinals. Like you said, they still have one more match this weekend against China. 2 teams who seem to want to keep SV1 open, but didn't pick it, not showing off their scores to their opponents, to their future opponents. So 2 strategies that kind of both came out to fruition. It's also possible that France and China banned SV2 because they didn't want their opponent to pick SV2, because that's the one that they wanted to be surprised about. So you never really know.
That would be so cool. Like, if that was the case, that would be so cool.
That would be the biggest brain strategy I've ever heard from both teams. But that is going to complete this match. Malaysia, unfortunately, will be eliminated from the Osu Mania 4K World Cup 2023. Made it to the quarterfinals in losers bracket. So good performance from them. It was great to see them give it their all here, but France will move on to face China, and we'll have to see how that match goes. I'm very excited to see it.
I mean, after seeing both of the teams performing and being surprised by both of the teams, I can only expect the next match between the 2 is going to be insane. Like, some of the picks have been shared, but most of them were not. Like, I think 3 picks were selected on both matches. That would be Rise 6. And it will be, what else? LN2, Hybrid 2. No, LN2 and LN1. Those are the 3. Those are the 3 picks that got shared. So they can compare some of the scores, but not all of them. And that's going to be very, very interesting to see. Like, I expect SV1 to appear. I expect maybe even Rise 3 to appear, which we haven't seen that often. I mean, it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see it. But as we were kind of hinting at throughout this match, that the United Kingdom versus Italy, quite close right now. It is 3-2. I believe we're in the middle of a map. I'm actually not totally sure, but because that's still going on, it's live on Osu Live 2. Go switch to that stream. We're also going to have Osu Live host, so you'll be able to just click right onto it and go see that match. But outside of just this main stream, We'll be coming back in 5 hours for the United States versus Chile. Very exciting stuff. Anything left to say before we go ahead and host the other match?
I mean, enjoy what's left of it and do not miss US versus Chile. That one is going to be a very, very interesting match to see. Despite the scoreline, you always like to see seed number 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, these two teams, those teams are just always good to watch, despite of how good they play. Like, just go get them.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. We'll see you guys then.